One was a bit comical. It was when I was asked to serve as basically a chaperone, driver, bodyguard for a family from the Middle East that the father had been working with the agency in a clandestine capacity. And so I was asked to drive them around the Washington, D.C. area.
From where?
They came from the Middle East.
Middle East?
Middle East, yes. So one of the countries in the Middle East. I'm not going to say exactly which country it was.
Not Iraq?
It could have been Iraq. But it was somebody who we had a relationship with.
He wasn't still on position?
He was still in position, and he came to the States for vacation or whatever, and while he was back in the States, he met with some CIA officers and, discussed what it is that, he knew about what was going on in his particular country. So my job was to pick up him and his family and bring them to the shopping mall and bring them around. But since I was still very early in my career, CIA thought it was best that I wear a disguise so he wouldn't know who I was. So I was given a disguise. I had a wig. I had a red mustache at the time, and it was colored. I was given glasses. I was given a lift in my shoe, so I would walk with a bit of a limp. And so it was.
فقط حتى لا يتعرف عليك هذا المسؤول العربي.
This was so that in the event that I was deployed to the Middle East, because I was still working in operations at that time, that he wouldn't recognize me.
معناته هو كان في رتبة عالية جدا.
Well, he was a pretty senior officer, individual within the Middle Eastern country. So the CIA was rather careful, wanting to make sure that they weren't going to expose a new officer to somebody who in the future might not work for the CIA. And we wanted to protect my identity. So I was wearing this disguise, and I would put on the disguise before I would pick them up, and I'd take off the disguise then when I would go back to work. And one time when I had to go and pick them up from a shopping mall, I was a bit late. And so I drove to the parking lot of the shopping mall and bent down and put on my disguise and walked through the mall and to pick them up. And I saw that people in the mall were looking at me with a strange look on their face. And when I met them, I could see that his two children were also looking at me. And the father said, shh, to them. So I went back to the car and drove them back to the hotel. And when I looked in the mirror before I took off my disguise, I realized that the sideburns of my wig, I had put my glasses underneath the sideburns, and the sideburns came up, going straight out. And so it basically looked rather strange, to say the least. So I thought that maybe my clandestine capabilities of disguise work were not good. But also during training, I had an interaction with one of the instructors who told me that if your agents, the people that you recruit, foreign citizens, if they are hesitant to continue to spy for you, you can remind them that when they were first recruited and they signed a sheet of paper saying that they had taken some money from us, which is usually what happens, that you could remind them about that, almost as a way to scare them into continuing to work with you.
تضغطون عليهم as a pressure.
Yes, and I said to the instructor, I said, that sounds like blackmail. And he got rather angry at me and said, it's not blackmail. This is the security of the United States we're talking about. You have to do whatever you can in order to keep people on working for the CIA.